All right, good morning to everybody. It is Thursday, July 20th. We are most of the way through the summer, coming up on the start of school for a lot of you parents out there. We certainly have some headlines we want to get to on this Thursday morning, including some more news on a developing and breaking story overnight in DeKalb County of a shooting. This was something that we started covering last night for Atlanta News First at 11. Some breaking news that we brought to you yesterday evening. DeKalb County Police are investigating this shooting. They say an apartment complex. Now, a witness told us that the victim was shot actually dead right by their car. This happened in Stone Mountain near Memorial Drive. Atlanta News First's Madeline Montgomery was at that scene for us all morning and is at the DeKalb County Police Station for us right now. She spoke with someone who saw all of this unfold.
That's right. She seemed to honestly still be in shock from the situation, which you can't blame her. She says this happened around 10 last night, and she says a shooting had happened in that same area just a few weeks ago. And we were over at the scene, and you can see police working it. They were out there processing for hours. And it happened over at the Park at Somerset Apartments in Stone Mountain. That's near Memorial Drive. When our Atlanta News First crew was on the scene, we saw homicide detectives and medical examiners working the case. And that witness we talked to says that she was in the parking lot when she saw what she described as a fatal shooting. She didn't want to go on camera because she's worried about her safety.
I was hanging out with a friend, and I seen like a group of guys. And the next thing you know, I just heard gunshots. I walked to the vehicle because I seen blood on the side of the car, and yeah, I seen that he was like tilted over dead in his car.
We're still waiting to get more details from DeKalb County Police. Of course, once we get those, we'll share them with you right here. Reporting in DeKalb County, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, Madeline, thank you to her for that report. Sad story there. Another example of gun violence. We've seen a lot of activity in the Stone Mountain area in DeKalb County this week, and that's just the latest example. It sounds like a man, according to a witness again, was shot dead right by their car. All right, we want to move on now to some good news, actually, concerning the Chattahoochee River, because just yesterday morning, our most recent update as of yesterday was that it was still closed over a big stretch because of a bacteria, E. coli, in a large stretch of the river. We do have this good news to report, thankfully, in regards to this same stretch of the Chattahoochee. After really almost a month, the river is now fully back open. It's ready for everybody to enjoy, which is good timing because today is going to be a hot one, already is. Now, 15 miles of the river from the Chattahoochee Nature Center to the Whitewater Creek unit were inaccessible for weeks. It was all because of that, again, that E. coli contamination that I had mentioned. Chattahoochee River National Rec Area has given the all clear, saying daily water testing shows improvements.
Weekend should be a really big one. We're expecting some nice weather. Hot, cold water, always a good combination. So just happy to be able to put people safely back out on the river.
Got to make the most of summer, you know?
I just like to get out and paddle and enjoy it.
Yeah, it might be too hot for paddling today. You might want to actually be underneath the water or in the water for this one. It's projected temperatures up to 96 degrees. That's the real temperature, and then the heat index up into the triple digits. All right, moving on to another story for you, specifically as it relates to the heat. Now, a lot of us think about how this heat affects your person. You want to make sure you're taking care of your younger children, your elderly, and those kinds of things. But it's also impacting your belongings. We're talking about your home. We know that air conditioning costs, skyrocket. We're also talking about your car, and there's different things you can do to make sure your car is okay in all of this excessive heat.
We often talk about people and pets, but we sometimes forget about the cars we drive in this heat. Well, with temperatures as high as they are this week, it can do a lot of damage under the hood and elsewhere on your vehicle. Mechanics tell us it's important to check your gauges and make sure your car has sufficient coolant. You'll also want to check your cabin air filter and the drain for condensation. Both need to be cleaned. The heat also takes a toll on your battery. Across the country, sizzling temperatures have been the big story. In Las Vegas, a plane bound for Atlanta sat on the tarmac for more than 4 hours in 100-degree heat. A lot of people got sick on that airplane, as you might imagine. In Arizona, temperatures have been rising above 110 degrees for almost 3 weeks, causing heat strokes in some, severe burns in children from that very hot playground equipment. Physicians want us to remember the importance of hydrating before you leave the house.
Even if you don't necessarily plan on doing a lot of activity outside, it's important to kind of be aware of what you're going into. So making sure that you're hydrating throughout the course of the day so that your body would have the ability to adapt, making sure that we're drinking water, make sure that we're drinking electrolyte drinks to replace what we're losing in our sweat.
Some other things to keep in mind in this heat: young children and the elderly are at the greatest risk for heat-related illnesses, so take extra care with them. Remember, certain medications like blood pressure meds can make a person more prone to heat-related problems. Watch for early signs of dehydration, which include dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, and headaches. And one last note about your car. You want to make sure you have the proper air pressure, because if you're going down the road in this heat, it can create a lot of friction, of course, and that could cause a blowout, which you certainly don't want to happen. In Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, certainly good information there from Rebecca. The Braves play today in all this heat. We're talking about a just afternoon first pitch. So if you're going out to Truist Park, be safe out there. It is going to be a warm one. But that's not exactly what we're talking about with the Braves today. Have you ever thought about actually owning a piece of the franchise? You can buy your own slice right now. The team is becoming the first publicly traded MLB team in the last 25 years. Now, the previously announced split off of Atlanta Braves Holdings was approved yesterday by stockholders for Liberty Media, which also owns SiriusXM and Formula One, by the way. Analysts say there are benefits for the Braves. The team could make extra money if they own a TV network or other holdings like Madison Square Garden does in New York City. But even if you buy stock, don't expect to get a say in what happens on the field. That should probably go without saying to a lot of fans, but others you might think they have some sort of weigh-in on how the team is doing.
You won't get to make decisions about trades and on-field kind of moves, but I think more than anything, it's kind of a fun novelty thing.
For sure, a fun novelty. You want to own a slice of the Braves, $45 will get you a share, so you can be a technical shareholder of the Atlanta Braves if you so choose for $45. That's pretty cool, unique deal. That's not a lot of sports fans get that opportunity. All right, in our final headline, we want to talk about Netflix. I know that most of you watching probably have a Netflix account, and if you have it currently, that's good news. You might actually want to keep it because Netflix is scrapping its least expensive ads-free plan for new members both in the United States and the United Kingdom. The basic plan, a single stream for $10 a month in the U.S., is no longer available for new or rejoining members. So if you currently have your account and that's the plan you have, you're good to go. But if you cancel that plan and try to come back, it won't be available. Netflix says that the existing basic members get to keep their plans. They're trying to push customers, though, for the ad-supported package called Standard with Ads. I could see how advertisers would like that, and if advertisers like that, Netflix is getting more money for it, and that's why you're probably seeing the change. That does it for our headlines from the Atlanta News First Plus desk. And again, it is Thursday, July 20th. We have a lot more on your forecast coming up on Atlanta News First at noon. Tune in. Certainly going to be a warm one. Hopefully you're inside and you're watching.